Alright, good afternoon guys. So today we're going to go through a few things like just a real quick formatting fonts, then using our format painter. I'm going to show you the drop cap, a little review on tabs and indents and shadowing, numbers and bullets we'll introduce, as well as putting in 2 columns and hyperlinks. Alright, so let's get underway here quick. First thing I want to do is change my headers, alright, which are these. I'm going to include Cincinnati up here as a header as well. So out to my home tab, pick out a different font, I guess you could say. I'm sorry, my computer has been absolutely horrendous today, so. Alright, so Cooper Black we'll switch to, and we'll make it 12 font. Alright, so now if I want to make all my headers this, I can do this very quickly by putting my cursor in the font. You can see where my cursor is. The font changes up here. So I want this font. I'm just going to hit Format Painter. You see it gives me a little paintbrush. Alright. I can just simply highlight whatever I want changed to that font. I do have to hit Format Painter every time. Whoa. I was trying something there. That didn't work. So, again, we'll switch that there. Alright, so now to hop into the drop cap, we're going to go to Insert tab, and over here we can see it, this big A that means to add a drop cap. So we're going to add a drop cap, and you guys have probably seen this in old stories, kind of how that big C takes up 3 lines. Alright, you can go ahead, you can see that my first line is only 2 lines, so what I can actually do here is I can go drop cap options, and I can choose how many lines I want it to be. So if I want to make that sucker big, alright, I can go ahead and do that. But since I have only 2 lines in that first paragraph, I'm just going to notch that down so it's not too overwhelming. Alright, adds a little style to your papers. Let's see, next on the list here, I want to add some tabs. So you can see here I have kind of a nice section of quotes. So let's go ahead and mess around with this guy a little bit. I'm going to add some shading to this, just like I did in my assignment, in assignment 4, I believe that was. Go ahead and add my shading. We'll make it yellow. Alright. And go ahead and add a box to it. Alright. So you can see now that we can also go ahead and change our indents if we want to set it at 1. We'll go ahead and grab this guy. We'll just bring it in 1 inch on both sides. Alright, and something that makes it look really nice that we did in this last assignment was go ahead and hit your full justification, and that just spreads it out evenly throughout that whole box. Alright, and just to make it look fancy, we'll add a little double space in between there as well. Alright, that's one thing that I think you guys need to work on, is making sure that the spacing between your texts is consistent. Alright, sometimes I'll take a look at your assignments, and they'll kind of look like this. Alright, you can see here I have 2, there's none here, and there's like 3 here. Okay, so just make sure it's consistent all the way through. Alright. Alright, so right there we just went through some indents. Alright, these up here are called your left indent and your right indent. Remember, if you grab the square, it takes the whole pie. This is just going to be my hanging indent, if that's something you want to mess with. And this is going to be my first line. Alright, you have to be very particular where you click. Alright, it can be kind of touchy depending on where you're clicking on that indent. Alright, make sure you view your ruler. I'm sure, actually I know for a fact that all of yours default to not seeing the ruler, so remember it's in the View tab under Ruler. Alright, and now to do double 2 columns. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and select what I want to turn into 2 columns. Okay, here's my text. Let's go ahead and insert, or excuse me, on page layout, columns, and we're going to say 2. Alright, So you can see right now I kind of screwed up. I have my on deck, my header here, and the Brewers, since I selected this space, it jumped up past my header. So I don't want that. All right. What I want to do is I want this to be 2. So, oh my goodness, one of those days, guys. One of those days. There we go. All right. And for assignment's sake, I want to make these margins just a little bit smaller. Oh, that's interesting. All right. So now that I have my 2 columns, and I'll show you what that looks like here. All right, what happens when you highlight that is it will only take that and it'll put this thing called a section break in. All right, so say I was typing this out and I got to this part and I knew I wanted to put in 2 columns. You do have to put in the section break. All right, you have to go to page layout, you have to go to breaks and insert a continuous break. All right, this is going to be what you need. You can see right there it says continuous, and then after that you have to say 2 columns. So let's see if I can demonstrate that quickly here. Just going to copy this. We'll go ahead and delete this guy. See, once I delete that section break, since my computer thinks I want it in 2 columns, it does the whole thing. So I need to change this back to 1 column. All right, so section break came back. Let's delete that guy. Oh boy, what's going on here? There we go. I forgot to delete that. Again, it's freaking out on me. All right, now we got them out of there. So let's paste this back. Now you can see that I have it's all single spaced. So if I want to do this the correct way, say I'm typing this out, I then need to go to breaks, add a continuous break. You can see that it did it on the line above. So now I can go ahead and say 2 columns. See that the rest of my document does not change. Type my information out, and you can see that everything has it gave us the 2 columns. Now we need to once again make my margins narrow for the assignment's sake so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right, so how I want this to look is I want the Brewers to be on the left side. All right, this information to be on the left column and this information to be on the right. All right, so what I need to do is insert another kind of break. This is called a column break. So I'm going to put my cursor exactly where I want that break. And what that's going to do is it's going to shoot everything over to the right side that I want. All right. So for assignment's sake, I'm going to go ahead and bold these a little bit, make these stand out. All right. So I have a little bit of information here. And the last thing that I want to do is show you bullet points. All right. So if I want to add bullet points, very simple, guys. You can click there to get your default. Otherwise, here are your bullet points to choose from. You can define a new bullet point. You can add a picture. All right, you can do a lot of different things. And since my computer's being a little bit crazy, I'm gonna not get too far into it. But you can choose different fonts, different symbols. That's interesting. Oh, it's going to say the alignment of the text. We just want it left aligned. So I'm going to go back actually and just choose a normal bullet point. All right, same with here. All right, let's take off my formatting marks. You can see that turned out pretty well. All right, I have my drop cap, changed all my headings, added a little shading in, made the indents. I like when you take that kind of quote and you shrink down those indents, makes it look very nice. Bullet points as well as bolding the Brewers and the Reds to show that that's kind of the heading for that section. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, go ahead and go step through step for this for me, and then show me and let me check it off for A little formative grade for you. Alright guys, have a good day. Bye-bye.